On this episode of the Batt Signal, we are going to be getting a deeper understanding of one of Texas A&M's most beloved traditions, Aggie Muster. The podcast will include details about what is muster, who is speaking, and who helped organize the event, as well as events happening earlier that day. Howdy, Aggs and recovering 2%ers, and welcome to the award-winning podcast, The Batt Signal. I'm Kenzie Finch, this week's host, and today we're going to be diving into some of the topics about muster. For this podcast, we are going to be talking about the 2023 Aggie Muster Ceremony, which is very close to mine and many other Aggies' hearts. I have news editor Caroline Wilburn here with me today to discuss what muster is and who will be speaking at the ceremony this year. Caroline, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So to start us off, I'd like to get a quick synopsis of what Aggie Muster is. Can you please explain some of the history?
So Aggies began to celebrate San Jacinto Day on April 21st in the late 1800s, and then eventually Aggies began to use that holiday as a time to gather off campus. And in 1922, Texas A&M Clubs, the Association of Former Students, and A&M President William Bizzle encouraged former students to gather on April 21st. A&M Clubs and Aggie groups held, quote, April 21st parties and San Jacinto Day, quote, meetings throughout the 1920s and 1930s. Beginning in the late 1920s, some on-campus San Jacinto Day gatherings included a roll call honoring former students who had passed away. In 1943, Association head E.E. McQuillan, class of 1920, named all April 21st gatherings muster, and in 1944, the first on-campus student muster was held, along with over 600 musters worldwide.
So when and where is this year's ceremony?
So the 2023 Campus Muster Ceremony will be held this Friday, April 21st at 7 p.m. in Reed Arena. Tickets are not required to attend the event, but doors open at 5 p.m. for first-come, first-served seating. Free parking will be available from 5 p.m. to midnight in Reed Arena 100 lots and Lot 61, 74, 95, and 97, according to transportation services. Paid parking is also available in the West Campus garage.
Perfect. So I know you also got a chance to interview this year's keynote speaker. Can you please tell us who that is this year and a little bit about them?
Yes. So Texas A&M Foundation President and CEO Tyson Voelkel, class of 1996, will serve as the keynote speaker this year. And in his position at the A&M Foundation, Voelkel said he kind of oversees the management of private endowments, which produces the income for the university. Voelkel said being chosen to give the keynote speech is a humbling experience, but he is nervous to be part of such an incredible tradition. He said, quote, "It is really the foundation for what it means to be a Texas Aggie or an Aggie. I just want to do a good job. I don't want to let any of those people down. I don't want to let the students down, most importantly." And 20 years ago, while serving in Iraq, Voelkel said he met with the only other Aggie he could on April 21st to sing the Spirit of Aggieland in honor of muster. Throughout the speech, Voelkel said he hopes to bring people together despite polarizing debates across the country. He also said, quote, "When you think about muster and its roots, you're remembering those who passed away so that their memories are never forgotten. The assumption is that they were working towards something meaningful. They were doing something meaningful, and it's our responsibility to carry that forward. It's our responsibility to pick up where they left off."
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Caroline, for coming in today.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Now that you've heard about the keynote speaker, I want to share a little bit about this year's committee chair, Rachel Grieve. Grieve got her undergrad in 2022 and is now working on her master's in engineering and biomedical engineering. Over the years, Grieve has served muster in several different roles before her current position. Grieve said her interest in muster began when she saw one of her fish camp chairs was also in the Aggie Muster Committee, and she realized students could get involved. After feeling alone in Aggieland, Grieve said she struggled to feel connected and to be involved in the university. After losing a few friends that were honored in the 2020 muster, Grieve saw an opportunity to be involved to honor fallen Aggies, and seeing people from different backgrounds come together gave her a newfound appreciation for the tradition. She said, quote, "Every year you go to muster, you get something new out of it, as a new layer onto your appreciation for our traditions, and what it means to be an Ag in this university," end quote. There will also be a muster barbecue on the day of muster where current students and alumni can join together. This year's muster barbecue will be held for the class of 1973's 50-year reunion. The barbecue will have live entertainment, free food, games, and a chance to meet Aggies from all walks of life. The barbecue will be reserved for the reunion class members, and current students will get Whataburger. So that's all we have this week. Please make sure to get down to Reed Arena to celebrate this tradition and reiterate the ideology that once an Aggie, always an Aggie. This week's contributors are Caroline Wilburn, myself, and Diego Valle. Be sure to tune in next week for more news updates, as well as our sports podcast, Home Turf, and life and arts podcast, Calculated Culture. Thanks, and gig 'em.